It started quietly, like most shocking stories do. No headlines, no paparazzi frenzy. Just a whisper in the industry, a rumor floating in the background. And then it spread. Teyana Taylor, known for her fierce talent and magnetic presence, had been keeping her personal life guarded, especially after her highly publicized separation from Aaron Pierre. Once viewed as the epitome of black love, the two went from red carpet royalty to tabloid tragedy almost overnight. The breakup itself was loud enough, but what the world didn't see coming was what unfolded after. The hidden tension, the bitter battles, and the unexpected entrance of another man who would set the internet ablaze, Aaron Pierre. Aaron Pierre wasn't a name the average gossip column follower would have linked to Teyana. A rising star in British film, known for his soulful eyes and commanding performances, he seemed far removed from the whirlwind that was Teyana and a man's world. But slowly things changed. He began appearing at events where Teyana was present. Industry whispers linked them in passing. At first, no one paid much attention until the photos surfaced. Quiet dinners, cozy encounters, moments that didn't scream romance but didn't exactly scream just friends either. And then came the real game changer, sightings of Aaron around Teyana's daughter. That's when speculation turned into full-blown frenzy. To understand why this story hit so hard, we need to go back. Teyana and Aaron weren't just another celebrity couple. They were goals. They shared their life openly through music videos, interviews, a reality TV show. They portrayed a relationship rooted in deep love and trust. They were best friends, creative partners, and doting parents. Fans felt invested. So when the news of their split broke, it hit like a gut punch. Whispers of infidelity, growing resentment, and emotional distance circulated, even as both parties tried to keep things respectful and focused on co-parenting their daughter. But behind closed doors, it wasn't that simple. As many separated couples discover, the true complications arise not from the breakup itself, but from what comes after. And in this case, custody became the battleground. Despite their public statements of mutual love for their daughter and a desire to raise her peacefully, insiders revealed that their co-parenting journey was anything but smooth. Tensions flared over visitation schedules, disagreements over routines, and an underlying current of mistrust. Friends of the couple began noticing the shift from quiet separation to subtle legal warfare. And right in the middle of this rising storm stood Aaron Pierre. At first, he was in the background, present but not dominant, a comforting figure, a new presence in Teyana's life, maybe even a stabilizing one. But things started to shift when Aaron was seen picking up Teyana's daughter from dance class, when he appeared at what looked like family outings, when he was no longer just someone standing beside Teyana, but someone who seemed embedded in the very fabric of her and her daughter's life. That's when the conversation turned. Was Aaron becoming a father figure? And more importantly, how did Aaron feel about it? Then came the twist no one could have predicted. According to reports that surfaced like wildfire across social media, Aaron Pierre had secretly filed for stepfather rights to Teyana's daughter. The news hit with the force of a sledgehammer. Fans were confused, outraged, intrigued. How could this even be possible? Legally, stepfather rights are usually reserved for individuals who are married to the biological parent and who've established a long-term, active parental relationship with the child. Teyana and Aaron weren't even officially a couple in the public eye, let alone married. And yet, if the reports were accurate, Aaron had taken a legal step that directly challenged the role of the child's biological father. Legal experts began chiming in online. Some said the filing would be laughed out of court unless Aaron had a rock-solid case and Teyana's full support. Others speculated that this could be part of a broader custody shift, especially if Aaron's visitation or involvement had been inconsistent. But no one really had the full picture. What was clear, though, was that Aaron's move was bold, some would say reckless, and it stirred emotions far beyond the celebrity world. Teyana found out from court documents. Just imagine that. Waking up one morning, living your life, parenting your child the way you always have, only to discover, through legal paperwork, that your partner made a move involving your child without your knowledge or consent. This wasn't just a legal maneuver. It was an emotional violation. For a mother like Teyana, who has always put her daughter first and guarded her privacy like a lioness, the idea that someone she trusted would go behind her back. That's not just betrayal, that's warping the very foundation of trust the relationship stood on. And sure, Aaron reportedly claimed he did it out of love. He said he wanted to solidify his role in the family. But love without communication, Love that skips consent. That's not love. That's control wrapped in romance. Aaron's defenders have tried to explain the move as a gesture of commitment. According to them, he was trying to make sure he could legally be there for the child, make decisions about school, medical care, emergencies, the stuff that sounds responsible on paper. But when you really peel back the layers, the issue isn't about what he did, it's about how he did it. There's a major difference between showing up for someone and taking ownership over something that isn't yours to claim. Fans and insiders alike have questioned Aaron's motivations. Was this about love, or was it about influence? Was it about cementing a role in the family, or about controlling a situation he didn't fully belong in? Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to prove you're a father figure, you don't do it by sneaking behind the mother's back. You do it by showing up, consistently, respectfully, and with full transparency. And let's not forget the context here. Teyana didn't have a history of drama around her daughter. She's never paraded her parenting choices for the internet. She's intentional. She's private. She's protective. So to have someone make a legal move involving her child without even speaking to her first, that wasn't just a breach, it was a storm. For weeks, Teyana said nothing. She kept it graceful, silent, controlled, and that silence, it spoke volumes. Because when someone betrays you, especially involving your child, your first instinct might be to lash out. But not Teyana. She played it smart. She waited. She processed. And then, with a single post, she made it clear where she stood. You don't need a title to love a child, just love. That was all she wrote. But the impact? Massive. It was subtle. But it was a clear, piercing rebuke of everything Aaron did. She was telling the world, love doesn't require legal papers. It requires presence, trust, respect. And if you can't love a child without demanding control over them, then maybe what you're offering isn't love at all. The internet caught on immediately. Fans flooded her comments with support. She's handling this like a queen. You don't cross a mother's boundary and expect silence forever. The mood shifted. Suddenly, this wasn't just about Aaron and Teyana. It was about motherhood, boundaries, and how easy it is for women, especially Black mothers, to have their decisions questioned or overridden. Since the filing went public, Aaron has remained silent. No statement, no apology, no explanation, and that silence, it's not working in his favor. Because in the court of public opinion, silence can sound like guilt, or worse, like indifference. And in this case, the silence has created a vacuum. One that fans and followers are quickly filling with their own narratives, their own trauma, and their own emotional projections. Teyana, on the other hand, has shifted into protection mode. Reports suggest she's working closely with her legal team to ensure that no one can make legal decisions regarding her daughter without her explicit consent. And honestly, that's what any mother would do. Her focus is now squarely on safeguarding her daughter's emotional, legal, and psychological well-being. Whatever feelings she may have had for Aaron are now secondary to the need to shield her child from chaos. And her circle, they're reportedly furious. Friends and family close to Teyana see Aaron's move not as an act of love, but as an act of control. Some sources say it wasn't about stepping up, it was about stepping over. And that's the part that's hitting people the hardest. Because this wasn't just a misstep. It was a direct challenge to Teyana's role as a mother. And that's sacred ground. But let's zoom out for a second. Because this story has ignited something bigger than celebrity gossip. It's opened up real conversations about blended families, step-parents, legal rights, and emotional responsibilities. It's made people ask hard questions. What does it mean to be a parent? Is it biology? Is it paperwork? Is it presence? Where do we draw the line between I love this child and I want control over this child? The public response was explosive. Some fans saw it as an act of deep care, a man stepping up for a child he had grown to love. Others viewed it as an overstep, an insult, even a betrayal toward Eamon Shumpert. And speaking of Eamon, his reaction, according to sources, was one of shock and fury. Reports suggested he found out about the filing the same way the rest of us did, through social media posts and viral gossip blogs. For a man who had tried to maintain a level-headed public image, this was reportedly a breaking point. Sources close to him claimed he immediately got his legal team involved, exploring every option to challenge what he saw as a deeply disrespectful and legally suspect move. Behind the scenes, things escalated quickly. Emergency meetings, court consultations, angry phone calls. A man wasn't just upset, he was devastated. In his eyes, Another man was trying to assert parental rights over his daughter without his knowledge or consent. For any father, especially one already navigating the heartbreak of divorce and separation, the move felt like a dagger. And all the while, Teyana remained silent. That silence became deafening. As headlines multiplied and social media exploded with hot takes, conspiracy theories, and fan wars, Teyana said nothing. No denial, no confirmation, not even a cryptic Instagram story. For weeks, she remained completely off the radar, prompting speculation that she either supported Aaron's filing or was too afraid to confront it publicly. The longer she stayed quiet, the louder the criticism became. And then, finally, she spoke. Teyana didn't hold a press conference. There were no sit-down interviews, just a quiet, emotional Instagram post. In a few carefully chosen sentences, she addressed the situation head-on. She expressed her love for her daughter, her desire to protect her from media scrutiny, and, most importantly, she stated clearly that she had no prior knowledge of Aaron's legal filing. She hadn't encouraged it. She hadn't supported it. And most of all, she was heartbroken that the situation had spiraled so far out of control. Her words struck a chord. Some fans flooded her with praise, saying it took strength to finally speak out and put her child first. Others criticized her for waiting too long, for letting the narrative fester unchecked. But regardless of which side people stood on, one thing was clear. Teyana was stepping back into the conversation, not as a celebrity, but as a mother trying to shield her child from the chaos created by adult decisions. The man's reaction to her post, according to insiders, was complicated. He was reportedly relieved that she publicly distanced herself from Aaron's actions, but also deeply hurt that she hadn't said something sooner. There were whispers of private arguments, emotional phone calls, and increased tension over their already fragile co-parenting arrangement. For Iman, it wasn't just about legal rights anymore. It was about respect, trust, and the legacy of the family he once believed in. Meanwhile, Aaron Pierre disappeared. No statements, no tweets, no red carpet appearances, just silence. And that silence spoke volumes. Was he backing down? Was the backlash too strong? Or was this simply a strategic retreat? The internet was divided. Some believed he had acted from a place of love. Others argued he had crossed a line that no boyfriend, especially one not publicly acknowledged, should ever cross. As the storm continued, something interesting began happening online. The conversation expanded beyond Teyana, Iman, and Aaron. People began sharing their own experiences with step-parents, custody battles, and blended families. The situation became a mirror, a reflection of the messy, emotional terrain that so many families navigate away from the spotlight. Some viewers defended step-parents who had stepped up in powerful, loving ways. Others recounted the trauma of feeling replaced or undermined by a parent's new partner. What began as celebrity drama quickly evolved into something deeper, something far more human. And while the headlines began to fade, as they always do, the consequences remained real for those at the center of it all. A child was still caught in the middle. Court proceedings were reportedly underway. Mediation talks began. Some close to the family said all three adults were trying to find a way to resolve the matter quietly, away from public scrutiny. Whether that resulted in true peace or just a ceasefire is still unknown. What's undeniable is that this moment has reshaped how fans see each of them. For Teyana, it marked a shift from pop culture icon to protective mother, willing to step into the fire for her child. For Iman, it forced a reckoning, not just with his role as a father, but with the life he once shared and how it had unraveled in front of millions. And for Aaron Pierre, time will tell whether he becomes a permanent figure in Teyana's life or a cautionary tale about getting too involved too soon. In the end, this wasn't just a story about breakups or custody battles. It was about boundaries, trust, and the fragile ways in which families evolve. It was about how quickly love can turn into conflict and how the most innocent among us, our children, often bear the weight of adult mistakes. And perhaps most of all, it was a reminder that behind every trending headline, there are real people living through very real pain.